Coming up, a behind-the-scenes look at a unique Marquette theater production, how it could be different than anything you've seen on stage.
Both Marquette basketball teams beat ranked opponents. We'll look at the standout players.
And later, those familiar domes you may see in the distance have been at risk of demolition. How a new plan hopes to keep them in Milwaukee. Your Marquette Now starts right now.
From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, this is Marquette Now.
Hello and welcome to Marquette Now. Today is Wednesday, November 15th. I'm Hope Moses.
And I'm Abby Virgil. So great to have you with us.
We begin tonight with news just south of Milwaukee in northern Illinois. A 3.6 magnitude earthquake shook the region. The earthquake happened earlier this morning, a few miles out from the town of Standard, Illinois.
No injuries have been reported, but the tremors were felt all the way up to the southern Wisconsin. This earthquake is the strongest that the Prairie State has felt in 6 years and the strongest earthquake recorded in northern Illinois.
Turning now to one of the brightest holidays this season, the Indian Student Association has hosted Diwali celebrations. Diwali is the largest holiday in India. Nearly 1 billion Indians and members of the diaspora celebrate each year. Members of the community celebrate locally in the AMU.
Diwali is a festival celebrated nationwide in India where families come together and light lamps, oil lamps, and have beautiful creation of art on the floor as well with colored powders.
Attendees had the chance to enjoy some authentic Indian food, get henna tattoos, and enjoy dance groups. People of all backgrounds were welcome.
This week marks Trans Compassion Week across campus and beyond. This week brings awareness to violence against the transgender community and offers support for members of the Marquette community who are trans and gender diverse. It's important to note that the word trans features an asterisk next to it to show that the word is an umbrella term that refers to many identities in the gender identity spectrum.
There are a variety of events that have been held this past week, including the Campus Day of Silence to recognize members of the trans community that have been lost.
More events and how you can get involved will be featured later in the show.
Marquette's theater program has recently premiered a series of shorter segment scenes that contribute to a much bigger show. Marquette Now's Ben Hansen reports on how students are getting a chance to direct these scenes and how one of these students is contributing to the performance community.
As the light fades on Marquette's campus, light brightens something director Joshua Soap didn't know he wanted to do at first.
Mystery time!
I actually wasn't going to until my sophomore year of high school. I had this director, and he just convinced me that I did want to keep doing this after high school, and I wanted to try to make it a career. So I showed up, and I auditioned, and I loved the first show I was in, and the rest is history.
Joshua is the director of the segment of the show All in the Timing for Marquette's theater program. Fellow director Natalie Murray says that his personality lends itself to this role.
He's a good, calming presence, and he's very methodical. He's a smart worker and he's a really hard worker.
Joshua says he applies that in everything he does.
And just with every show I put my all into it, whether I'm the lead or I'm an ensemble or I'm backstage or I'm directing it. I just do the best I can to make myself look good, make the other people on stage look good.
Good morning, senor.
I just apply myself as much as I can.
While giving this commitment to the program, cast member Leah Garrett notices he does this well.
That is my first time working with Josh as a director, and so far it has been a really great process. You will have time to look at the nasturtiums today. It's nice to see him in a leadership role.
On a bigger scale, Joshua says he is stuck with performing because it's an escape from normality.
Performing is just this chance to get to step into the shoes of someone that maybe you never would have been otherwise.
Ding!
It was fun to get to explore that side of myself, and that's all the fun in performing for me.
Marquette Radio is coming off of a successful first concert, Autumn Rhythm, previously known as Ring It Out.
Over the weekend in the Annex, a variety of music showcased ranging from rap to jazz and others in between. This video shows the recap that Marquette Radio captured on film. The show opened with Lake Waves Trio and included High Kane, a rapper local to Milwaukee, Superglue, a punk band, and Killer High Life. The two-part video can be viewed on Marquette Radio's Instagram page.
And if you missed the show, don't worry. There will be 2 more concerts later this school year, starting with Radio Roulette in February and ending with the spring concert. All right, I don't know if you've seen the calendar. I'm sure you have. It's November 15th, and we have 60-degree weather. How are you guys feeling about that?
I can't believe that. Let's take a look at the weather tomorrow and the week ahead. Andrew Hubbock joins us now.
Yeah, guys, I really can't believe that. That's insane. 60 degrees, you know, we're in November the 15th. Like, what's going on here? I mean, it's not going to stay this warm, you know. As we head into the night tonight, it's going to be 54 degrees. Humidity is going to be at 65%. No precipitation, though. So, you know, if you're going out with an umbrella, ditch it. You know, you don't need it anymore. 2 miles an hour for the wind. Now let's take a look at the state overnight lows. Up north right here in Superior, we're seeing 41 degrees still over in the nighttime. It's a little warm, you know, not great. You're still going to want a jacket. But as we get a little further down into Minocqua, it's getting a little bit chillier. Eau Claire going to warm up, and then down here in the capital in Madison and over in Milwaukee, gets a little warmer in 44. Take a look at the state highs tomorrow. 59 up in Superior, who would have thought? And then when we get down here central in the middle of the state, got Eau Claire, Wausau, and Packerland. Green Bay at 64 degrees. The Cross, 66. Who would have thought? 64 in Madison, and we're just a little bit chillier over here in Milwaukee at 63 degrees. Now looking at tomorrow's forecast, as we said, 63 degrees here, humidity still a little bit up at 52 degrees, a little bit sticky out there. Precipitation is at 2%, and the wind's coming in from the west-southwest at 18 miles an hour. Last but not least, let's take a look at our 5-day extended forecast here. Friday, going to be 47 degrees and 50 right after on Saturday. You know, the sun's going to be peeking out just a little bit behind the clouds there. Going to come in and out throughout the day, but not on Sunday. We're going to see a lot of sun on Sunday. It's going to be a little bit chillier, but still, with that sun out, it's going to be a little warmer out. You know, you're going to like that. Monday, as we're heading into Thanksgiving week, we're going on break here. You're going to see some rain, so you're going to want that umbrella again. If you ditched it, bring it right back. You're going to want it. 49 degrees, a little rainy as we head home for the holidays, or if you're just sticking up here in Milwaukee. That is it for our forecast. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a look at a multi-million-dollar donation for Marquette Athletics, how that's helping the Marquette tennis team. When Marquette Now returns, don't go anywhere.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt,
Such a weirdo.
excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
What are you looking for?
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Hope Moses.
And I'm Abby Virgil. Taking a look at more news you need to know this Wednesday evening, The men's and women's tennis programs are receiving money and funding from an alumnus and his wife to establish endowed scholarships for tennis players.
Ross Ciprovieri and wife Susan gave $1 million to the programs. This comes after news earlier this year that the men's and women's tennis programs would be taken down to non-scholarship programs by the 2025-2026 academic school year.
Vice President and Director of Athletics Bill Scholl says, quote, "As we strategically look at new and innovative ways to grow scholarships for our many student athletes, we believe that additional alumni will step forward to continue our scholarship momentum."
The Mitchell Park Horticultural Conservatory, also known as the Mitchell Park Domes, have announced a plan approved by their board of directors to renovate the facilities.
In a newsletter to members, the Friends of the Dome say that the new renovation includes restored domes, a new cafe, increased educational facilities, and steps to reinvigorate Mitchell Park itself to benefit the surrounding community.
They also say that the solution will be funded by Milwaukee County as well as other municipal and public funding sources alongside private donors.
There have been struggles to decide on a unified plan in order to seek funding for renovations, and the new plan has received support from county and other local officials.
And now looking nationally, President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping have met in San Francisco for the first time in over a year. The two met and agreed to steps needed to prevent fentanyl in China from getting to the U.S. and to revive military communications that were closed last year. The Chinese president said that, quote, "planet Earth is large enough for the two countries to succeed."
This meeting comes at a tense time in relations between the two countries, following the shooting down of a Chinese spy balloon in February, and then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, which China continues to claim as its own territory and clashes with the Taiwanese independence movement.
Turning to sports now, it's Marquette 2 fighting Illini 0 in basketball competition this season. The women's and men's basketball teams racked up wins against both ranked University of Illinois teams this past week.
First, looking back to the past weekend as the women's team played host to the number 23 ranked team at the Al McGuire Center. The game was mostly back and forth as the Golden Eagles and the Fighting Illini stayed neck and neck throughout much of the game. Senior forward Eliza Carlin led the team with 22 points.
The game went all the way down to the final few free throws as Jordan King sank 2 clutch free throws to seal the game. This is the team's first ranked win of the season. Coach Megan Duffy praised the team's performance in her post-game interview.
Now,
I just think the more attention we can get out across Milwaukee, across the state of Wisconsin, and nationally, I think people are just going to keep loving what this game is doing. And
now the women's team is currently playing IUPUI in Indianapolis as we speak and lead 80-54 in the late fourth quarter and are on their way to continuing their undefeated start.
Now to last night's game, as the number 4 ranked men's team took on the 23 ranked Fighting Illini down in Urbana-Champaign.
It wasn't clear until closer to game time whether or not Tyler Kolek would play, but the reigning Big East Player of the Year started and made his presence felt. An important factor going into the game for the Golden Eagles was to improve their defensive performance.
The game stayed close, but the defense clutched up in the final 3 minutes as Illinois' only points came from free throws. Tyler Kolek led the way with 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Coming up this week in the world of Marquette sports, the volleyball team opens a 2-game homestand, first against the St. John's Red Storm on Friday and then the Pirates of Seton Hall on Saturday.
Then the women's basketball team welcomes in the St. Peter's Peacocks to the Al McGuire Center on Sunday. Finally, the men's team opened their 2023 Maui Invitational in Hawaii against UCLA.
Coming up after the break, each week we highlight a member of the Marquette Wire and what they've been covering in their work at an organization.
We'll be sitting down with executive sports producer Kristen Parisi. Kristen just came off of winning a Silver Pillar Award at the Chicago Midwest Student Production Awards. We'll talk about it more when we come back.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
And welcome back to Marquette Now. Each week, we like to highlight a member of the Marquette Wire and what they've been working on over the past week and beyond in our Down to the Wire segment.
That's right. Tonight, we're joined by executive sports producer Kristen Parisi. We won't make a quick correction. Kristen just came out of winning Crystal Pillar, not a silver pillar as stated before. Kristen, congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, Kristen, as we mentioned, you and your team recently just took home a Crystal Pillar for Best Collegiate Sportscast at the Student Production Awards. Can you tell us a little bit more about that experience at the award show and what was that like?
Yeah, it was kind of like surreal once we got into it. You know, it was exciting waiting the entire time. You know, when we were in the car ride, I was with Tim Latow and some other Wire friends. But we got there and like, you see like the Emmy, because it's like the Chicago Midwest Emmy Awards. You see the entire like backdrop. It's the Emmys. There's a bunch of like professionals there. Everyone's taking pictures. Everyone's, you know, it looks great. And you're like, as a college student, you're like, how the heck am I here? You know? And it's like just like such a fun time to like be with all my friends, be with the our past executive director, Andrew Amuzu, and some other people that were there. And it was just like, you know, you get to network, you get to have some fun. And then the award started, and we're sitting right next to the Northwestern group of student journalists. And then, you know, the awards, it starts, they like read off, it was kind of funny, they read off like they were in the wrong order. So they kind of read off like, they just mentioned it was like, I don't know, some narrative thing. And then they just said, Golden Eagle Sports Report, Marquette Wire. And we were kind of like shook. But like when it happened, I was like, I didn't think it was like we were actually gonna win it, and I actually have it right here. Went up and grabbed it. They gave us the wrong award at first. They gave us Northwestern's award, but we got it back, and it's just like you see your name on such a prestigious award. You're with a bunch of some professional journalists that are winning Emmys, and you're with some of the best student journalists in the country. So it was kind of just like surreal that your career got to that point.
Now, an award like this is caused by constant innovation in your shows. What have you changed in the last few years in charge?
Yeah, so my predecessors, Shane Hogan and Tyler Peters, were pretty great. They kind of shaped me into the journalist and into the producer that I am today. But I kind of wanted to, like, you know, every year you want to make the show your own. So I kind of did that. We had more student athletes last year. I made sure, like, we're trying to get student athletes on our show every week. Obviously, sometimes with the schedules, they don't work out. But, you know, we do that. We did like a little, like, you know, coming up segment. We have like we do like GSR awards. So we like do our own like little like spin off of the Big East Awards. We have our team of the week, our MVP of the week. And then we have like, you know, top 5 moments. It's just like little different ways to like change up the show. So it's not just like recap, analysis, C block. We wanted to kind of like, you know, add in some little segments here and there. My team and I have worked really hard, but it's just kind of just like looking at every sport, you know, not just like tailoring to just basketball or just volleyball. We like talked about every single sport last year. We had different athletes on the show. Like the first time we had lacrosse, we had 2 women's lacrosse players on our show. So it's just like coming up with new ideas to, you know, make the show different so it's not just like the same flow every week.
Yeah, and that sounds like a lot of work that you and your team puts into the show. So can you talk a little bit more about what that looks like? What does it look like to produce a show?
Yeah, so our shows are every Tuesday, so let's just go on like a Wednesday. So we meet here at Johnston. We kind of go over like the games that are happening. Like for like right now it's the women's basketball, men's basketball teams are in the regular season, and then the volleyball team is nearing the postseason. So we kind of just like look at all the games that we're gonna have to go and film. We go and film the games, we film the press conferences, and then we kind of make our own highlights. So we kind of say, all right, what games are we gonna have to recap? Which is the game that started or that was the most relevant, then the most recent, so we do that. And then we add in, hey, are we going to be able to have an athlete? I look at this sports schedules, the composite schedule that they have on Go Marquette, and I'm like, okay, so there's no basketball games here, maybe we can have a men's basketball athlete. So I email the SID, and then we kind of get into, we don't really look at like team of the week. We say, all right, we're going to do our GSR weekly awards, but we wait until like Monday to do that, kind of like see all the games. And then we kind of just see like, where do we have little spaces missing? Can we add a sports package? Can we add a feature story? And then can we add analysis from a beat reporter from some of the games? And then we kind of think about, all right, what is the top 3 biggest topics in college football, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, WNBA, kind of just like what the biggest sports are going around. And then we kind of just make our script, and then we put over either are we gonna have highlights or is it gonna be a full screen graphic? And then we kind of just like go through the motions like that and piece everything together throughout the week.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, and that work is exactly what got you that award.
Now, since it's your final year here at Marquette, what's next this year for GESR?
That is a great question. We're gonna have to, wait and see. I don't really exactly know. I'm definitely gonna sit down with my producers at the end of the semester and see, what can we do better? What can we take to the next level? And kind of just think of like different segments, different people, maybe get some, athletes running their own C block, or kind of getting more students that aren't in the journalism school. So it's kind of just gonna go back to the drawing board over winter break and see where it takes us from there.
All right. Well, again, everyone, that was Kristen, Executive Sports Producer at the Marquette Wire. Congratulations again on the award. Golden Eagle Sports Report can be watched every Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on Marquette University Television YouTube channel.
Still to come, whether you're headed home or staying on campus, there are plenty of events going on around Turkey Day. We'll have more on what events are coming next week when Marquette Now returns.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Hope Moses, and let's take a look at some events coming up this coming week. Campus Ministry is hosting a free Thanksgiving meal for Marquette community members who will be spending the holiday in Milwaukee. The meal will take place at Cobean Hall on November 24th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. Delicious food, including turkey, cod, sides, and desserts, will all be available. You can sign up online or scanning the QR code below. And taking a look at that story we mentioned earlier in the show, this week marks Trans Compassion Week across campus and beyond. If you're looking to join in recognizing the week, the LGBTQ+ Resource Center is hosting a variety of events this week. Tomorrow is the T in the RC, located in the Resource Center from 1 to 3 p.m. The week ends on Sunday with the Trans Day of Remembrance visual from 5 to 6 p.m. in the AMU. More details can be found online at the LGBTQ+ Resource Center's social media pages. You can get a double dose of acapella this weekend, with Marquette hosting 2 different fall acapella concerts on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, Marquette's all-men's acapella group, The Naturals, will perform their show titled Through the Ages.
The show will begin at 7:30 p.m. and admission is free. On Sunday, The Melodies, Marquette's first and only all-woman acapella group, will perform from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
The show is titled Linger, which consists of an 8-song set. You can get in free with your MUID or buy a ticket at the door for $5. Both concerts will take place at the Weisler Auditorium. Now, we want to introduce a new segment in Marquette Now, looking back at what's trending in the world of arts and entertainment today. We cannot talk about pop culture without leading with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. The Chiefs' tight end is under some fire today following the unearthing of some tweets from over a decade ago.
Some of the tweets have been called insensitive and fatphobic, and others defending the NFL player, stating that the tweets are from a 21-year-old Kelce.
The cast of the hit television show Friends are remembering the life of their co-star Matthew Perry in their first personal social media posts following Perry's death in October. Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer are all posted their tributes to the late actor who played Chandler on the sitcom that ran for 10 years.
The actors issued a joint statement following Perry's death, but this is the first time that they have posted tributes on their own pages.
Taking a look at the box office now, the newest Marvel Studios film hits a record low for the studio. The Marvels, the 33rd film, and the franchise opened to an estimated $47 million at the domestic box office.
This is less than half of the opening weekend numbers for the 2 prior Marvel Studios films this year. The film's actors could not promote it due to the actors' strike until 2 days before the release. Some online are just citing superhero film fatigue.
And now taking a look at what's coming up next for MUTV. There's only one show left this week before MUTV heads on a Thanksgiving break.
Catch Marquette Lately tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. as they celebrate the holiday in a way only they know how. Join us again on Wednesday, the 29th at 7:30 p.m. for another episode of Marquette Now. Until then, check out marquettewire.org for more up-to-the-moment campus news.
Thanks again for joining us. From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, I'm Hope Moses.
And I'm Abby Virgil. We'll see you after break. Until then, good night and happy Thanksgiving, Marquette.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to load their minds. Dare to explore. Dare to STEM. Learn more at She Can STEM.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.